filming while we're begging. Is there a film?
I'm recording. It's filming it.
Can you zoom in on that beautiful piece?
How beautiful is that?
Oh, nice. Well, actually, that's not bad either.
I'm taking video.
We see each other everywhere.
Let me get all fresh.
Thank you. Hold on. Can you get me in here, please?
Yeah, I'll get you in there.
Hold on, just one.
Oh, let me switch you a picture.
Three of us with Travis. Look at the little threesome right here. Oh, yeah.
AKAPADers, welcome! Let me fix that camera. And guys, welcome back to another episode of Wildstorm Wednesday. If you're new here, every single Wednesday we discuss Wildstorm Productions. What's Wildstorm Productions? Let me just sum it up. You're the greatest living comic book artist of all time. You, with this dude called Chris Claremont, maybe you heard of him. You guys get together. Marvel Comics is there. You make X-Men #1. It's not Uncanny X-Men #1. It's adjectiveless X-Men. It's X-Men 1, 8 million copies sold, highest selling comic book of all time. We dispute parts of that on this channel. But what do you do with the money? Well, you make Wildstorm Productions, you break away from Marvel, you form a company with your friends from Image Comics, and here we are. Jim Lee's done drawing his launch title for Wildstorm Productions, WildCATs. Jim Lee, at this point, never comes back to WildCATs. Now, he teases it with a different volume. He kind of draws an issue here and there. But he leaves. He never comes back. So who takes over? Well, he goes to DC Comics and finds a dude by Travis Charest. And Travis completely breathes life, not only into WildCATs, but into comic book illustration as a whole. He becomes a darling. People love his style, they love his take, but we're at the beginning of it. Now, he's to evolve, and we're going to get into the Travis evolution, but right here, we're just going to highlight his first full book, which is WildCATs Special #1. And Travis is to evolve as an artist, but we're just going to look at what he was doing at Wildstorm Productions at this time. This is not a career retrospective on Travis. It's merely the look at who takes over for WildCATs and who takes over from the guy that created the highest-selling comic book of all time. WildCATs Special 1 goes into the lore of the Demonites. We're teased with this like Demonite God that could be like reincarnated. We get more Grifter, more Voodoo kind of teaming up and going off on the side. And we get the two characters, Providence and Imp. And we pretty much learn, it's hinted, but we learn they're of the same mind and they're of the same power. This is a lot of lore, it's a lot of cool stuff, it's a lot of continuity. I'm going to do my best to build in what the continuity pops are, but it gets difficult because sometimes when we hit the drawing table, I want to present to you what's in front of us, but then I got to give you a stack of comics. Analytically, I know I lose a lot of you guys in that moment, but it needs to be done, and that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make on this channel, because we're just about, like this entire channel, we're about this deep dive. We're about fully learning and understanding a comic book subject matter, unlike anything I've seen. And there's a reason, there's a reason I get into it, because we're the only ones here doing this. So guys, let's hit that drawing table. It's Wildstorm Wednesday. Rock and roll. Let's go. Here he is, our DC talent boy, Travis Charest. We got some amazing covers here, guys. So Travis was working in DC, he was doing covers, and he was on the book called Dark Stars. From that point, we get familiar with Travis when he starts showing up in some of these WildCat backup stories. This isn't Travis, but I'm going to show you the one that he's... But, you know, these backup stories become a part of Wildstorm Productions, like, lore, okay? So we get one here for issue 8. Okay? And it's a little bit of a side story of... It's almost like... If you're interested in a little bit more of Voodoo being a stripper and seeing how her powers work, this is okay. This is kind of why we call this Past Lives. Steven Seagal later goes to become a seminal writer for Wildstorm Productions, and Travis inherits the throne, and when Jim Lee's done with WildCATs, he comes on issue 15. Issue 15 in my view, just off of the shadows, the shot selection, what we're doing with the individual panels, right? Like, we're communicating a lot of information here. I think the coloring, this is almost the beginning of, and it's not Joe Chido, okay? It's the Wildstorm coloring and effects. Joe Chido here, he's picking out the colors and where to put them, but the effects team is, we get this muddy colored era beginning in Wildstorm coloring. It doesn't quite fit Travis Charest. Sorry guys, I almost said Joe Mad there. Doesn't quite fit. Because in a way, we kind of see, just based on his line work, that Travis, he kind of benefits a lot from flat colors. Can we get this here? Here we go. He benefits a lot from flat colors. He's later colored in that fashion. They figure things out, okay? But we see this is a Paul Pelletier. But he draws the covers and he sells the books, okay? So a lot of people don't refer to Travis as a DC guy. You know, when it comes to Stephen Platt, they refer Stephen Platt as a Marvel guy stolen by Rob Liefeld. So cheers to that. I got 2 coffees over here, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. So where are we at? What's our story? Demonite God, Reincarnation, Dakota, they are, and this is Destiny here, they're basically like stealing babies and trying to breed them. And we see that the Demonites are highly influential in Hollywood. The Demonite comes out of a famous American actor. He takes over the old decrepit doctor. And we get a little bit of backstory, a little bit of the rules of how Demonites work. The Demonites can't improve any body that they're in. They need to be in good bodies. And also, based on some of these other stories that we've read and where we are right now in WildCat history, the Demonites also need somewhat of a mind to occupy also, because the mind can corrupt what the Demonite can do in the human body. So from there, we go to Providence. And Providence, she comes home and look at the tapestry by Travis here. Like, look at this. But Providence goes home. We find out that she's a missing child. And she just wants a little solace. And along the way, Void, she gets visions of this ruined, destroyed future. Our doctor, that's now a Demonite, he's upset because he needs to find a better body. Initiate satellite patch 4 gnome 1. Security key cost no object. They're always hunting. These Demonites are always looking for something. But Void has like this vision. It's like a baby, right? And this is somewhat of a futuristic like mobile. But but inside of here, and the coloring here is tough. But inside here, like the baby, it's like Rosemary's Baby. It turns into this Demonite God. And Void just falls off of a cliff. I do like this panel though. And Thump, and we're back into the modern day. So we jump to Jacob Marlowe, downtown Manhattan. Can let money change you, Felicia? I mean, look at me. So he's just saying, like, money can change a person. Look at me. I got millions, billions. All I know, still the same old salt of the earth. And then boom, Void pops in. Adriana, your timing sucks. And she's like, look, you have to come with me. They assemble the team. Void breaks everything down. And we get some of these fantastic headshots. Look at the hair, too. See, so Travis draws a hair in such a unique way. You can ID his hair. It's not even just his faces. And he's really good with these. Again, like a lot of information. We have our eye line here. Okay. And, like, technically, right, like, are all of these the right... Some of these are incorrect. But what he does is, look, he blocks it in with these shadows. Blocks it in here. Blocks it in here. We get, like this probably could be darker. But he just, again, like somewhat triangular, like he hones in on what we need to focus on. And it's great for the letterer, because the letterer kind of can easily place the word balloons. We get some, some long faces here. This is not the best face. It's a little bit wide. But he gets this attitude, like Spartan's always with his arms crossed. And they go back and forth, and they decide, look, Grifter and Voodoo need to go on the ground. Voodoo's the one that can identify the demon god that's maybe in the baby. We're going to send her and Grifter. And we have like a giant hulking mole here. And that's a little bit of what I was saying here, to where like maybe Maul should like kind of be like a little bit more, a little bit more bigger, just based on how he is on this panel. The editor should have caught that, sure, whatever. But it's there, and we have some fantastic shadows. I love how he shadows Maul here. And now Destiny's talking to Gnome, who we last saw issue 4, WildCATs issue 4, him falling into a pit, chasing the orb, missing a hand that Jake Marlowe just shot off. And Destiny shows off some of her powers, and they're like, hey, what are we doing? Where are we going? The Doctor is trying to hunt down Providence now, because Providence can help them form everything. The Doctor's like, hey, you know where some of these people are? The Doctor shows up to the parents' house, and they're like, what are you talking about? Dude? Like, our daughter's missing, you bum. And then he just attacks them, and then Providence is like, and then they're like, oh my god, Cassie, where the hell were you? And she's like, well, I don't know. I kind of came home last night and snuggled with my bear, and no one knew I was home because I've been missing. A lot of back and forth. There you go. To end this suffering, no price is too great. I'll give whatever you ask. So Providence is getting that the Demonite in this old man. She's going to get him a new body, and she knows where to find it. I love what Voodoo's wearing, and they make references there. She's like, what's the matter? Not inconspicuous enough? Well, I get used to it. I wasn't born in a dancerous costume. So they kind of make a reference that for a long time, Voodoo was wearing her stripper outfit, not a superhero outfit. Destiny, she's committing to her evil deeds. Voodoo gets interrupted here. Adriana, what is that? What's wrong? You okay? What happened? I don't know. A brief dissociative state. Dissociative state. I'm sorry, AKAPADers. Dissociative state. I felt as though I were traveling in two directions at once. So this is her kind of intertwining with the power of Providence here. Like her and Providence, we kind of learned they're a little bit more, way more connected than we thought previously. Well, Grifter gets attacked. He just basically blows everything up, but we get some more nice of that Travis hair. This is one of my all-time favorite Travis pinups images of WildCATs. This one also one of the first images we saw him. They used this in advertising. Look, dude, like his Jacob Marlowe with the orb from WildCATs 1 through 4, really hot stuff. Again, that hair. But Grifter nukes everyone. He is remorseless, of course, because why not? And I like it too when the action kicks in. They get into some Grifter commentary. He's got these captions. Natural enough mistake if you're used to picking off unarmed mourners, but it's going to cost them. Ready? And then we get the pin up, and then pop. They're done. And he jumps into like a little bit of the tank, uses the tank, blows up the other friends, and then him and Voodoo, and he goes, do you try this hard to impress all your girls? I love quips like that. And then they're off. So they find the Lone Wolf. This is a place that Grifter's familiar with. He used to hang out there. He's like, hey, where's everyone at? There's There's one bartender. The bartender knows him. He's like, give me a double of the, or triple. Does he say triple? But they're kind of talking in secret broken tongue language. They go back and forth. We find out where the bad guys are because this, basically, the bartender serves them alcohol, which, you know, you love them for that, right? That's why we like bartenders. But we learn that they've been using the rape word on a lot of women in this war-torn country. And they kind of know it's for purposes of Dakota and or the Demonites. So Grifter suits up, kicks down the door. And then as he's kicking down the door, we see... I mean, look. Like, they go... This is where they're going, okay? Like, and this... We have, like, kind of like a horizon here, right? Like, we split that. But our vanishing points are here. And, you know, like, it doesn't quite... You know, it doesn't quite fit. This is bad, okay? But whatever. It's Travis. We love him. Moving on. But they're here. They kick down the door, and then all of a sudden they're in this like broken rubble environment. You know, this looks like it's out of Age of Ultron, the Avengers. You know, this is Swakovia. And yeah, this girl's like Destiny. She hates Grifter because Grifter was trained by Dakota. She looks at him as like a dirty boy, but he tackles her. He's all about that arse. Fight ensues. The Demonite has a baby that we assume came from this woman right here. The pike, the weapon, not this pike, but this pike, it's got blood on it. So you kind of want to say she cut the baby out. And the Demonite God is trying to, you know, become fully formed. Everyone fights. The WildCATs show up. We get a little bit of the cross frequencies between Providence and Void, and we learn that they're more friendly with one another than enemies. So everything we've seen of Providence at this point is somewhat of a 180. And then next thing you know, they nuke. They get rid of the Demonite God. They make a nice reference here. I love this because Maul goes big, and he goes, when's he going to learn? He just makes a bigger, dumber target at that size. I love that line because Warblade's like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then here we go, Zealot versus Destiny. This is the battle we've been waiting for because we want Zealot to fight her evil sisters, and then clipped. And look at that silhouette. Too good. And then boom, yeah, Grifter nukes her. Everyone's dead. To add the finishing touch, never say die. Okay, not die. I will not die. Die. Because Voodoo's trying, like, she's, like, doing her thing, right? Because he's a little discapacitated from here. Voodoo's trying to exorcise him. Warblade shows up, and he goes, never say never. And just whacks him. Just slices him, kills him. So, unceremoniously, our big-time villains that we see on the cover, they're gone. I don't know why you would kill him. You know, like, you have to keep the Demonite God alive. And then we're off, and we get this great moment here where Grifter's just trying to buddy up with Voodoo, and she's taking his hand off of her, and she's like, just let me sleep. I need to crash out. And then here we go. So, and then we get a lot of end caps with we saw this in WildCATs issue 7 of kind of like the clouds and the sunset. It's awesome. It really is. And yeah, there's a simile metaphor there. And we get this amazing Graham Nolan, right? Richard Johnson, right? Kevin Nolan, I'm sorry. Tom Rainey and Kevin Nolan. But look at this. And this is why we do backup stories and we get things like this, because we want interpretations of the characters to hone in on exactly what the characters should look and feel like. And these are all new characters still, and it takes a lot of time. My criticism for a lot of these backup stories, though, is they wasted a lot of real estate with these backup stories, and they should have been selling ad space. But that's the difference between the new Stain model and the direct model. Some of this is great, though, guys, but I would prefer ads in comics versus some of the backup stories and additional pinups. Well, there it is. Travis Charest on his way to change and permanently transform comic book illustration. And next we're going to get into not just Travis, but the James Robinson stuff. Okay? Rock and roll, guys.